So after the 3 teasers that were posted online earlier this week, Need for Speed finally has a full trailer. And this is Need for Speed Payback. Oh man, it feels so good to be talking about a Need for Speed game again. So if you'd like to check out the trailer in full, I'll link to it in the description down below, along with a list of everything you need to know about this game right now. It is seriously just so awesome. Obviously, I can't upload the whole thing because we don't want to talk about YouTube copyright in this video. No. We won't open that can of worms. So before we get into this video, I wanted to talk about EA Play a little bit. I will be at EA Play live streaming Need for Speed Payback. So if you're excited for Need for Speed and want to see some gameplay of it, make sure you hit that subscribe button down below and you'll be notified as soon as I post some Need for Speed Payback gameplay. It's coming next week, so get pumped, get excited, and be on the lookout for it. Let's get into Need for Speed Payback and all the details. But anyways, let's start talking about Need for Speed Payback and just jump into this trailer and the thing that was posted on the Need for Speed website and start ripping it apart and jumping into all the little details. So the big ones, when can you play it? You're going to be able to play it November 10th, 2017. That's when it releases, but there will be some opportunities to play it possibly a little bit earlier than that, so stay tuned. And where exactly will you be able to play it? Well, you'll be able to play it on your Xbox One, PS4, and on the PC, which is pretty cool. And I think some of you guys may be happy to hear this. Need for Speed Payback is going to be completely offline. So what's the reason we're doing all of this? What is the story of Need for Speed Payback? Well, one of the main characters of the game is going to be Tyler Morgan, who was double-crossed by his crew, and he has to go and put together a new crew of guys to take down the house. The house is going to be the cartel that controls the cops, the criminals, and the casinos in this crazy universe, world thing. We'll talk about that in a little bit. But basically, the goal is to do some crazy, impossible races, and one of those races you actually get a little glimpse of at the start of the trailer. I don't know how many people caught on to this, but the first like 30 seconds of the trailer or so show off a crazy mission going on. You can see a Koenigsegg Regera first being loaded up into the back of like an 18-wheeler, and then an RTR Mustang going flying down the highway in pursuit of this huge trailer. Then the sort of fight breaks out and the Mustang crashes into the trailer, and then some like villainy looking people in like these all blacked out BMWs and Challengers start coming after the Mustang, crash it into him, explosions happen, Michael Bay, and it looks seriously cool. Someone jumps from a car onto the truck. It looks just insane. So right, where's this whole game taking place? Well, I mentioned casinos. This game is taking place in a place called Fortune Valley, which firstly, obviously, by what you just saw, there's day in it, so you'll actually be able to see your cars. That was one of my biggest complaints about the old game. You took all this time and you spent all this money working on these crazy cars and you just couldn't see them super well because it was always dark. Well, you're gonna have day now, and you're also gonna have night. The full time cycle's in. It's gonna look great. In the world, there's actually everything from city, off-roading, mountain roads, to canyon roads. It should be awesome. I'm super excited to off-road in a Need for Speed game. So if you're gonna be off-roading in Need for Speed Payback, you're gonna need some special cars. Well, it's a good thing Need for Speed Payback has 5 different classes of cars. It's gonna have race cars, off-road cars, drift cars, drag cars, and a class called Runner. In the trailer, I think we get a pretty good idea of what these cars are actually going to be. For race cars, we've obviously got a Lamborghini Aventador that was in the old game, but we've got something brand new as well, a Pagani Huayra. That thing looks insane. It's actually a BC version, so it's super fast, super grippy. We also get a chance to look at some drift cars in the trailer as well. We've got a 350Z that has an amazing stance, this huge rear wing, and a little diffuser as well, and it just looks really cool. The license plate even says drift. And then there's an R34 a little bit later on in the trailer, and it's pulling some sweet slides as well. The R34 actually has some pretty crazy body parts in terms of customization. It's got this really weird sort of wide body kit with like a fin almost. It's kind of weird, but kind of cool at the same time. We've also got drag cars. I'll come back to them in a little bit because we've also got something else that I want to talk about. In the meantime, let's move it on to the Runner class. Now, I don't actually know what the Runner class is, but one of the cars that was sort of in the trailer for a sort of extended period of time as opposed to others was a Porsche Panamera. Now, this thing didn't have any real sort of body mods, but I could imagine just as this is a 4-door car, making it good for sort of running away from people with your crew so you can fit everyone in. It's sort of stealthy. Doesn't, like I said, it doesn't really have any body mods, so it can sort of blend in a little bit. And I mean, it's a big Porsche Panamera, so you can go about your business, really. And obviously, because we can drive off-road, we need some off-road cars. Well, we've got some. The Chevy Belair in the trailer here is just looking insane. It's got this huge light bar on the front. It's got a huge blower, jacked up suspension, these monstrous wheels, and it's got these huge fender flares as well. The thing is insane. Off-road cars look pretty cool, and I can imagine spending a lot of time in sort of the customization area for some of these. We've also got a Ford Raptor, I should mention, so that should be fun to go cause some shenanigans in. So yeah, let's bring it back to drag. So before we get into drag racing, you should know that there's another thing in the game called derelicts. And if you're a fan of Forza, which you probably are if you're watching my channel, derelicts are sort of like barn finds. You will come up to these cars that are abandoned, sort of broken down on the side of the road, and you'll drive up to them, you'll find them, they'll go take them back to your garage, and they'll get all fixed up. In the trailer, you actually see one of these things happening. You see a fair lady pulled over to the side, pulled over. It's in pieces basically, and you see it just laying there in the fields. Well, you pull up to the car, it goes through some things, and the very next scene is the fair lady with this huge sort of like blower coming out the front of it. It's got a wheelie bar on the back because it's a drag car, and then you can even see a little bit later on in the trailer a Ford Mustang shooting NOS out the exhaust and popping a wheelie off the line for a drag race. So yeah, Need for Speed obviously has those 5 sort of classes for cars, and derelicts as well. They're sort of one-of-one cars that you'll just find in the world somewhere. They're pretty cool. I'm excited to do that. You guys know me. I'm a huge fan of exploration in games, so I'm very excited to go jump into those. Anyway, sort of wrapping up on cars and things like that, I will have a full car list in the description down below. Now, if you're watching this in like a week's time or 2 weeks time or 2 months time, and the car list has changed since the time of recording this video, that article will be updated and will be up to date with all of the cars that are confirmed for Need for Speed Payback. So obviously you'll be able to customize these cars to your heart's content, buying and winning parts. It should be quite cool. Let's talk about the people trying to sort of stop you from doing all of these things. The cops. Let's talk about the cops for a little bit. So the cops are obviously back for Need for Speed, and they are better than ever. Helicopters are back. Rhinos are back, and the cops themselves are turned up to 11. Need for Speed has come out and said, these cop chases gonna be pretty hard, so you might want to watch out for them. So anyways, at the beginning of this video, I said the release date was November 10th, but you can play it a little bit earlier. Well, there are some pre-order bonuses you should probably be aware of as well. One of the things they're doing is giving blue tire smoke to anyone, I believe, who pre-orders the game. So there's actually going to be some like pre-order bonus car pack as well, which includes some pretty cool cars like the Ford Raptor, a Chevy SS, Volkswagen GTI Club Sport. That's coming. I'm very excited for that. And the final one was a Nissan 350Z. All of these cars are going to be tuned and upgraded so you can mess around with them straight out of the gate and have some fun with them. So other than that, I think that's just about everything that there is to know right now about Need for Speed Payback. If you'd like more details on anything I mentioned in this video, check out the links in the description down below. It'll cover everything seriously that's out there for Need for Speed Payback so far, so seriously check it out if you're interested at all. And yeah, thank you guys so much for watching. Like I said, be on the lookout for some Need for Speed Payback gameplay, and I'll see you then. Be on the lookout. I'm so excited. See you guys then. Bye.